You're not here to chase. You're not here to beg for attention. You're here because something in you knows there's a better way. She pulled away? Good. That's your signal, not to panic, but to pause, recenter, and reclaim your power. In this video, I'm going to show you the right way to re-attract a woman, not through pressure, not through pleading, but by becoming the grounded, composed man she can't ignore. As the Stoics taught us, control what you can, your energy, your actions, your mindset. And when you do that, the world, and yes, even her, starts to notice. Let's get into it. Number 1. Focus on yourself first. Now, instead of waiting for her to notice you, shift your focus. This is where most guys get it wrong. They sit around, checking their phone, hoping for a message that may never come. They make her the center of their thoughts, giving her all the power while their own life stands still. But a man who waits is a man who loses. The solution? Stop waiting. Start building. Improve your body, your mindset, your finances. A man who is actively creating a better life for himself is always more attractive than one who's just lingering in limbo, hoping for a woman's attention. Consider this. Who is more desirable? The guy dwelling on what he lost, or the man too busy improving himself to be concerned with whether she notices? A woman naturally gravitates toward strength. And strength isn't just physical, it's mental, emotional, and financial. It's the discipline to hit the gym when you don't feel like it. It's the focus to pursue your ambitions rather than wasting energy on someone who's uncertain about you. It's the self-respect to know that you don't chase love. You attract it by becoming a man worth desiring. A Stoic understands that true strength comes from within, not from external validation. He doesn't need a woman's attention to feel valuable. He doesn't seek reassurance to confirm his worth. He builds himself regardless of who is watching. And, ironically, that's when people start paying attention. Because nothing is more magnetic than a man who moves forward, unshaken, unbothered, and relentlessly focused on his purpose. So stop waiting for her to notice. Let her wonder where you've gone, what you're doing, why you've become distant. While she's figuring that out, you're becoming a stronger, more capable version of yourself. And when she does come back, she won't be returning to the same man she walked away from. She'll be facing someone far more powerful, someone who no longer needs her validation to feel whole. Number 2. Stay cool, not clingy. One of the biggest turn-offs for a woman is a man who lacks emotional control. If you start acting desperate or needy, she'll see you as weak. And once that image is set in her mind, it's hard to undo. Women aren't drawn to men who beg for attention. They're drawn to men who command respect through their presence, not their pleas. The strongest move you can make? Indifference. Not fake, calculated indifference, but a genuine sense of self-worth that isn't shaken by her actions. When you react emotionally, bombarding her with texts or demanding answers, what message are you sending? You're showing her that she holds all the power, that her decision to pull away has completely destabilized you. That's not attractive. But when you remain composed, when you show that your peace isn't dependent on her affection, something shifts. She starts wondering, why isn't he chasing? Did I misjudge his value? A Stoic man doesn't crumble when circumstances don't go his way. He accepts reality as it is and focuses on what he can control, his own actions, his own mindset. Instead of spiraling into insecurity, he channels his energy into his purpose, his growth, his passions. And that's what draws her back. When a woman senses that you're unbothered, that her pulling away hasn't thrown you off balance, it creates intrigue. She starts to feel your absence. She questions her decision. The dynamic flips, and suddenly, she's the one reevaluating. Why? Because scarcity increases value. A man who isn't easily swayed, who doesn't flinch at emotional tests, signals high status and strength. But here's the key. This has to be real. You can't just act indifferent while secretly hoping she notices. Women can sense pretense from a mile away. True indifference comes from understanding that you don't need anyone to complete you. It's the realization that no single person defines your happiness or your worth. That mindset isn't just attractive, it's powerful. So, when she pulls away, let her. Don't chase, don't panic. Let her feel the weight of your absence, because a woman only truly values a man who values himself first. If this concept of emotional control and genuine indifference resonates with you, or if it challenges your current views, take a moment to engage with us. Hit the like button if you found this discussion valuable, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, or simply type "Mastering Myself" to affirm your commitment to personal growth and emotional stability. Let's continue to explore how these principles can transform not just your relationships, but your approach to life itself. Number 3. Space works better than chasing. The more you chase, the less value she sees in you. The man who understands this doesn't react emotionally. He steps back. Like a Stoic, he remains calm, knowing that his worth isn't defined by her temporary withdrawal. Think about it. When you keep reaching out, you're showing her that your sense of security depends on her attention. And nothing kills attraction faster than a man who seems desperate for validation. A woman is drawn to confidence, to a man who stands firm in himself, not one who scrambles to pull her back the moment she steps away. Instead of reacting impulsively, embrace her distance as a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, were you overly available? Did you neglect your own growth, your purpose, your own interests? A woman doesn't pull away randomly. There's always a shift in dynamics. Maybe she felt things were moving too fast, or maybe she unconsciously started testing your strength. And if your response is to smother her with reassurance, you're confirming her doubts rather than easing them. A true Stoic understands that control is an illusion. You can't control how she feels, but you can control how you respond. So instead of chasing, lean into self-improvement. Focus on your work. Reignite the passions you might have sidelined while caught up in the relationship. When she sees that you're unshaken, that her pulling away hasn't thrown you into emotional chaos, she starts to wonder. Why isn't he chasing me? Did I misjudge him? This curiosity is what pulls her back. Picture a man standing by a fire. If he throws himself into the flames, desperate to keep it alive, he smothers it. But if he steps back, giving it air, the fire breathes and grows. Attraction works the same way. When you give a woman space, she has room to feel your absence, to realize the contrast between your presence and the emptiness left behind. Real confidence isn't about pretending. It's about knowing your value so deeply that you don't need to chase. You trust that if the connection was real, it will naturally recalibrate. And if it doesn't, then you've lost nothing. Because a man rooted in himself doesn't beg for love. He attracts it. When she reaches out again, don't overcompensate. Don't rush to prove yourself or demand explanations. Meet her with the same calm energy you carried during her absence. Be warm, but not needy. Engaged, but not desperate. She needs to see that you're still the man she was initially drawn to, steady, confident, and in control of himself. Remember, re-attracting a woman isn't about playing mind games. It's about embodying the kind of strength, independence, and purpose that naturally draws her in. Step back, breathe, and let your silence do the talking. Number 4. Silence gets her thinking. You might think words will fix this, but silence is more powerful than any message you could send. When a woman pulls away, most men panic and try to reason their way back into her life. They send long texts, ask for closure, or try to remind her of all the good times. But here's the hard truth. Words rarely change how she feels in that moment. If anything, they confirm her decision. The less you talk, the more she wonders. If you disappear without explanation, she starts asking herself, why did he stop trying? Was I wrong about him? And that curiosity works in your favor. The moment she feels your absence, instead of hearing your pleas, something shifts. She's left with the silence, and in that silence, doubt starts to creep in. Did I misjudge him? Why isn't he chasing like every other guy would? As the Stoics say, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. Listen more, speak less. A man who knows his worth doesn't waste energy convincing someone to stay. He listens, not just to her words, but to her actions. And if her actions show distance, he respects that distance. He doesn't beg. He doesn't argue. He lets his silence speak for him. Think of it like this. When a song ends on the radio, you notice the silence. When a favorite show goes off the air, people suddenly appreciate what they had. Humans don't realize the value of something until it's no longer available. The same applies to attraction. If you keep talking, explaining, chasing, you're giving her certainty. But if you step back, she has to sit with the uncertainty. And that is what stirs emotions. This isn't about playing games. It's about showing strength. A Stoic man knows that emotions are fleeting, that today's distance doesn't define the future. So instead of reacting, he remains steady. He focuses on himself, continues living his life, and trusts that if she truly values him, she will come back on her own. And if she doesn't, then she was never meant to stay. So next time you're tempted to send that long message, stop. Let the silence do the talking. If there's still a spark left, she'll feel it in the space you leave behind. Pause and consider the strength inherent in silence. It's not merely about withholding words. It's about embodying a calm, stoic confidence that speaks volumes without uttering a single phrase. How often do we rush to fill the quiet with noise, fearing what might be said in its absence? Yet, as we've explored, silence can often provoke thought and curiosity far more effectively than any well-crafted message. I invite you to reflect on this principle. Have you experienced moments where silence had more impact than words? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this perspective on silence as a form of communication strikes a chord with you, consider how it might apply not just in relationships, but across all aspects of your life. Engage with us, like this video if it resonates with you, and subscribe for more insights on how to harness the power of Stoic silence in your daily interactions. Number 5. Make her feel your absence. Here's a harsh truth that many men avoid confronting. If she pulled away, it means something about the dynamic between you wasn't working for her anymore. Maybe she felt emotionally overwhelmed. Maybe she began to question her level of attraction. Or maybe, without even realizing it, you became too predictable, too available, too accommodating, too easy to figure out. And when that happens, the mystery fades, the excitement weakens, and her interest can begin to slip away. Now, this part is hard to accept, but it's essential. The more you try to convince her to stay, the more you try to explain yourself or fix it through words, the more you suffocate what little desire might still be there. Because attraction doesn't respond to negotiation. You can't talk your way back into her heart if the feelings have already started fading. In fact, Trying to do so often pushes her even further away. Here's the good news, one that Stoic philosophy quietly teaches us. When you remove yourself from the situation, when you practice emotional restraint and stop reaching out, you create space. And in that space, she's left with something she hasn't felt in a while: absence. And absence, more often than not, leads to reflection. When you're no longer always available, when you stop showing up on her phone screen or in her life every time she expects it, something subtle shifts. She no longer has the luxury of knowing you're just one message away. She starts to recall the good things, the way you made her laugh, the presence you carried, the quiet confidence you had when you weren't trying so hard. Because here's a basic truth of human nature. We value what we feel we might lose. We crave what isn't guaranteed. Think about it. Truly rare things in life don't need to shout their worth. A diamond doesn't chase. A masterpiece doesn't beg for attention. Their value is silent, but undeniable. You need to carry yourself the same way. Let your actions, better yet, your lack of action, speak for you. The more you chase, the more you send the message that she's the prize and you're just hoping to be chosen. But when you step back, when you embrace silence not as a tactic, but as a way to honor your own worth, you turn the tables. You go from being someone she assumes will always be there to someone she suddenly might lose. And that's when the real shift happens. So if she pulled away, let her go. Don't try to chase or convince her. Don't write long messages explaining yourself. Don't beg her to reconsider. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who's not easily forgotten. Because when you hold your ground, when you protect your peace, when you embody calm strength, you don't just become more attractive, you become magnetic. And the best part? Even if she never comes back, you'll still have won. Because you chose self-respect over desperation. You chose dignity over validation. You chose to be a man she'll remember, not one who begged to be remembered. Number 6. Neediness kills attraction. A man who needs her approval is a man who loses her attraction. Women respect men who stand on their own, who don't seek validation to feel complete. The more self-sufficient you are, the more desirable you become. A man with a full life, a strong purpose, and unwavering confidence is naturally attractive because he doesn't need her. And women don't fall for men who are desperate to be kept. They fall for men who are secure enough to walk away. If she senses that your world revolves around her, she'll lose interest. It's not because she wants to see you suffer, it's because, instinctively, she's drawn to a man who leads, not one who clings. If every decision you make, every action you take, is based on winning her back, she feels that energy. And that energy isn't attractive. It screams, "I need you to be happy." But the moment she feels you're indifferent to the outcome, ironically, that's when she starts to reconsider. It's simple psychology. People want what they can't easily have. When she sees you thriving without her, when she realizes you're not waiting around for her approval, she starts questioning herself. Did I make the wrong choice? Was I too quick to pull away? Your absence creates uncertainty, and uncertainty fuels attraction. So if she's pulled away, don't try to convince her to stay. Show, through your actions, not your words, that your happiness was never dependent on her in the first place. Because a man who truly values himself never has to beg for anyone else's. As we dive into the concept of self-sufficiency and its magnetic pull, it's essential to ponder. Are you living a life that is truly yours, or are you seeking validation from others? This distinction is crucial because genuine self-worth is inherently attractive. It's not just about being confident. It's about being grounded in your own identity, independent of anyone else's approval. Consider how this perspective shifts the dynamics of attraction and respect in relationships. If you find this idea compelling, or if it sparks a new understanding for you, I encourage you to share your insights. Let's discuss and grow together in understanding the strength that comes from true self-reliance. Number 7. Make your comeback subtle. If you do decide to reappear, do it with restraint. Don't pour your heart out in a long, emotional message. Don't show up with some dramatic, last-ditch effort to win her back. That kind of intensity doesn't attract. It repels. One of the biggest mistakes men make is believing that the more effort they put into a return, the more meaningful it will seem. But attraction doesn't work that way. It's not measured in grand gestures or emotional fireworks. Instead, make your return feel natural, effortless, and almost accidental, like a man who's simply been too busy living fully to dwell on what didn't work. Maybe it's just a short, light message like, "Hope you're doing well," sent after some real time has passed. No expectations, no wait. Or maybe you don't reach out at all, and you allow her the space to do it. Because if there's still interest on her side, it will surface. Silence reveals more than words ever can. And most importantly, when it does happen, it won't be because you chased it. It'll be because you let it come to you. The key is this: never look like you've been waiting. Women are incredibly perceptive when it comes to energy. If she picks up on the fact that you've been quietly holding out hope for her return, it puts the power back in her hands, and that kills the spark. On the other hand, if your vibe is calm, composed, and indifferent to the outcome, it creates curiosity. She starts to wonder, has he moved on? Why does he seem so at peace? Was I really that easy to let go of? That kind of mystery pulls her in. A Stoic doesn't force anything. He doesn't chase what slips away. He doesn't beg for closure or manipulate timing or rehearse lines to win someone back. He understands that true connection can't be forced. It either rekindles naturally or it fades. Either outcome is acceptable. He remains centered, stable, unmoved. His strength comes from the fact that his happiness and peace were never dependent on someone else in the first place. So when the opportunity comes, if it comes, don't turn it into a moment. Don't act like it's something you've been preparing for. Keep it light. Keep it relaxed. Skip the emotional explanations. No need to rehash old wounds or seek validation. Just show up as the man who never stopped living his life. The man who stayed grounded. The man who didn't press pause waiting for her return. Because that's the kind of man she'll find herself drawn back to. Not because he tried, but because he didn't have to. Number 8. Attraction is subtle, not forced. Attraction isn't something you demand. It's something you inspire. No amount of pleading, convincing, or chasing will ever change how a woman feels. If you have to beg for her attention, you've already lost the battle. True attraction isn't built through words. It's built through presence, confidence, and self-sufficiency. Instead of trying to convince her, let your actions do the talking. Become a man she notices. Not because you're forcing yourself into her world, but because you're thriving in your own. Women are drawn to confidence, social proof, and presence. A man who is focused, disciplined, and genuinely enjoying his life without needing external validation is naturally magnetic. Why are some men effortlessly attractive? It's not always about looks or money, it's about energy. A man who moves with purpose, who walks into a room and commands attention simply by existing in his own frame, stands out. And when other people, especially other women, start valuing you, she'll feel it. Attraction is contagious. The moment she realizes you're being noticed, appreciated, and respected by others, her perspective shifts. Did I overlook something? Why are other people drawn to him? Was I wrong about him? This is why social proof is so powerful. If you're out having fun, meeting new people, engaging with life, and creating experiences that make you exciting, she will notice, whether directly or indirectly. The less you need her validation, the more she starts questioning why she ever pulled away in the first place. So instead of waiting for her to come back, start leveling up. Invest in yourself, physically, mentally, socially, financially. Make your life so fulfilling that whether she returns or not, it doesn't even matter, because the ultimate power move isn't making her miss you. It's becoming the man who doesn't need her to. If this concept of self-inspired attraction resonates with you, or if it sparks any new thoughts, I encourage you to share your reflections. Comment below with how embracing your personal growth has influenced your attractiveness, or simply type, "I inspire attraction," to affirm your commitment to this journey of self-improvement. Engage with this idea, share your experiences, and let's continue to explore together how becoming the best version of yourself naturally draws others to you. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more insights on personal development and attracting genuine connections. Number 9. Stay on her radar, but don't overdo it. You don't have to disappear completely. Going silent doesn't mean vanishing into thin air. It means shifting your focus away from her and back onto yourself. Maybe she sees you posting about an exciting trip, a new hobby, or just having fun with friends. These aren't desperate attempts to get her attention. They're subtle reminders that your life is moving forward, with or without her. And that's powerful. But here's the key. Don't fake it. Women have an incredible ability to sense pretense. If you're forcing a smile in photos or trying too hard to look like you're thriving, she'll see right through it. The goal isn't to appear like a man who's doing well. It's to become one. To actually invest in yourself, build new experiences, and embrace the things that bring you fulfillment. A Stoic doesn't waste time brooding over what's out of his control. He lives in the present, fully engaged in his own journey. He doesn't post to prove something. He posts because he's genuinely enjoying his life. And that difference is everything. Because here's what happens. When she sees you living without hesitation, without regret, it triggers something inside her. He's not sulking. He's not waiting. He's actually thriving. That realization shifts her perspective. It makes her wonder if she misjudged you, if she was too quick to pull away. And that curiosity, that's what reopens the door. But by the time she starts noticing, you may not even care anymore. Because when you truly embody this mindset, when you invest your energy where it matters, you realize that the best outcome isn't winning her back. It's becoming a man so fulfilled that whether she returns or not, it makes no difference. Number 10. Let her chase you. Re-attraction happens when she feels like she has something to lose. When she starts wondering if she miscalculated, if you're slipping away into a life she's no longer part of. It's in that uncertainty that attraction is reborn. Women don't miss men who chase. They miss men who seem just out of reach. Men who are too focused on their own journey to wait around for someone to decide if they're worth it. The tables turn when she starts investing in you again. When she realizes she's no longer the center of your world. When she feels that you are now the one she has to earn back, that's when she starts paying attention. But here's the key. You don't force this shift. You don't manipulate her into missing you. You create a life so full, so exciting, that she can't help but take notice. So, Show her, not through words, not through attempts to prove anything, but through your actions, that your life is thriving. Become a man with purpose, a man who's leveling up in every way, physically, mentally, socially, financially. When she sees that you're not dwelling, not waiting, not seeking her validation, she starts questioning herself. Did I walk away from something special? Is he better off without me? Has he moved on? A Stoic doesn't beg for attention. He naturally commands it by the way he carries himself. He understands that attraction isn't something you convince someone of. It's something that happens organically when you embody the qualities that women admire: strength, confidence, purpose. And by the time she realizes your value again, you may find that you're the one who has moved on. That's the real power, when you're no longer re-attracting her for her, but because you've become the man you were meant to be. Consider the implications of focusing on your personal development and how it shifts the dynamic in relationships. How does this approach change the way you view your interactions with others? If this concept of subtle re-attraction through self-improvement resonates with you, share your thoughts in the comments. Or simply type, "I am the prize," to affirm your commitment to living a life that's attractive on its own merits. Let's continue this journey of becoming not just someone who is chaste, but someone who is inherently valuable and self-sufficient. Number 11. Win either way. The best part? Whether she comes back or not, you win. Because this entire process isn't just about her. It's about you. It's about making you a stronger, more self-sufficient man, one who stands tall with or without her presence in his life. And here's the thing. That kind of man is attractive no matter what happens. A woman doesn't fall for a man because he begs her to stay. She falls for a man who is secure in himself, a man whose world doesn't crumble when she pulls away. If she sees that you've remained steady, that you didn't spiral into desperation or self-pity, she starts questioning her decision. Did I make a mistake? Was I too quick to walk away? And suddenly, the dynamic shifts. Now, she is the one wondering where she stands with you. Imagine two men who just had a woman pull away. The first man panics. He texts her constantly, trying to reason with her, trying to remind her of how good things were. He waits by his phone, checking her social media, consumed by the idea of getting her back. The second man, he feels the sting, but instead of reacting emotionally, he focuses on himself. He hits the gym. He deepens his purpose. He starts investing in his passions and social life, not as a performance to make her jealous, but because he genuinely knows his worth. Which man do you think she's more likely to be drawn back to? The one grasping for her attention, or the one who seems to be thriving effortlessly? A Stoic accepts life as it is. He doesn't resist. He adapts. He understands that relationships, like everything else, are subject to change. People come and go. Attraction rises and fades. What he can control is how he carries himself, how he responds to the setbacks, how he grows through them instead of letting them define him. And in doing so, he becomes someone a woman never wants to lose in the first place. Not because he tricked her into missing him, not because he played some game of silence to manipulate her emotions, but because he became the kind of man who naturally commands respect and desire. A man who is fulfilled, regardless of who stays or who leaves. So whether she comes back or not, the real victory is in the man you become through this. And when you reach that level of confidence and self-possession, you'll realize something even bigger. You were never the one who needed to be re-attracted in the first place. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the art of re-attraction. This path isn't about chasing, begging, or desperately trying to win someone back. It's not about tricks, tactics, or putting on a mask to impress. True re-attraction starts from within. It's about rediscovering yourself, standing firmly in your values, and growing into a version of yourself that doesn't need to prove anything to anyone. Because your presence alone speaks volumes. If she's pulled away, it might sting. But instead of reacting with panic or emotional outbursts, take a breath. This is your moment, not to chase, but to realign. Focus on your purpose, your peace, and your progress. Because the truth is, the most powerful form of attraction isn't loud. It's quiet confidence. It's the kind of presence that doesn't force its way into someone's life, but calmly reminds them what they're missing. This is the Stoic way. You don't try to control outcomes. You simply control yourself. You remain steady, composed, and deeply rooted in who you are. If this message resonated with you, and you're ready to keep refining your mindset and your relationships with a blend of timeless, Stoic philosophy and modern understanding, go ahead and hit that like button. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or your own experience with re-attraction and growth. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future videos that continue to explore how strength, clarity, and purpose can reshape the way we love and live. Also, make sure to check out the recommended videos on screen. Each one offers deeper insights into navigating the ups and downs of relationships with wisdom, intention, and inner calm. Your support through likes, comments, and shares helps this message reach more people who are searching for clarity and confidence in their own journey. And always remember, the goal isn't just to get someone back. It's to become the kind of person who doesn't need to chase validation, because they walk with such grounded assurance that the right people naturally gravitate toward them. That's what re-attraction is really about. Keep walking your path with purpose, and let your peace do the talking. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.